I think it's important, like I said, just building the knowledge of the defense, understanding what Flus and I'm trying to do. Very dynamic scheme, and I'm pretty excited about it after just going through a couple installs and a couple plays with the guys.
You and Jerry talked for what looked to be about 28, 30 minutes. What was that discussion like? And can you tell us a little bit about what you guys talked
Yeah,
about?
we were talking about how my off season's been, the training I've been putting in, and he told me I looked pretty good, so I got excited about that. Asked me about the trip I just went on, and it was a pretty good conversation. And then obviously, just stepping up and being a leader, how much he appreciates I'm here, and that means a lot to me.
How hopeful are you to get a deal done before you go to Oxnard?
I'm pretty hopeful. I'm still, hanging tight. Like I understand it's up to him, and he gives the green light on everything. So hopefully, something's done, by next month.
How do you avoid getting anxious as this thing starts to drag on a little bit?
I just keep putting work in. At the end of the day, man, I still love football. I think it's still about football. I understand the business side always kind of creeps in every couple of years in the football world, but I just keep it about football.
What are the conversations with you and David like at this point?
I mean, just like anything, I look at David as more than just an agent. I look at him as a friend, a role model to me, a father figure. He's always there for me. So we talk about anything every day. We talk about other agents. We talk about other players' deals. We talk about life. We talk about family. I just spent time with him this weekend at his house in Austin. Took care of me and my family and friends. So, I think everything's just pretty mutual. Just telling day-to-day talks.
What was that conversation with Jerry about it?
Oh, like I said, just vacation, off season. How excited he was for me to be here today, and how much it meant to him. So, if you can impress the head man, that means a lot.
No contract talk at all?
No contract talk at all.
You had said that in a tweet, it's in the owner's hands. At this point, are you waiting on him to make that phone call?
Yeah, that's what it kind of come down to it. He gives the green light. He's the owner. He's pretty much what it takes to get anything done anywhere around here. So, it's up to him. But like I said, I'm going to still keep playing football. I'm going to keep showing up and preparing any other year.
You made the call to him in the offseason when you had the meeting with him. Why can you make a call now and get it going?
Nah. Next question.
Considering you know what the numbers are with other players in your position, are you surprised that you guys haven't said let's get this done, because you know where everybody's making right now?
Yeah, some people like to take their time more than others. You can't rush the process. He wants the deal to go as cleanly as possible. I want the deal to go as clean as possible. So it's just about getting it done as cleanly and quickly as possible.
You saw other guys in your position not attend mandatory mini camps today. Why did you feel it was important to be here with the rest of the team?
Well, for them, I think everyone's different. Those guys is vetted in their program. I think, guys like that, they already can, put themselves at the top. And, they're great leaders for their program. I think for me, I'm still trying to build. I'm still into my second deal. Those guys are going to their third deal. So, everyone's situation is different.
Have you made any decisions about camp? If you don't have a deal, will you still attend?
Yeah, I'll still be in Oxnard. I already got my house. It's already said and done. So I'll be in Oxnard, me, my kids, my family. So we'll be there.
Will you be on the practice field?
Yeah, I'll be out there.
Okay.
What can you contribute while not in shoulder pads and a helmet, but out there just in a bucket hat and whatnot? What can you contribute to the team?
Yeah, just being vocal, understanding what looks right. Even, they're going through the drills and guys ask me how'd I look. Just simple things. Well, how's my footwork? It's not always the major things that makes football great. It's always the small details, the footwork, the positioning, the angles, things like that I think I can contribute. And we'll go in and we'll watch film together, and I can tell guys what I see from a vetted, experience about going through a lot,
Like you said, you'll be on the field. Will you practice in Oxnard without a deal?
We'll see. It's time to tell.
Why didn't you today? Or what did you do today?
Today, I just got some back tightness from training with Trey yesterday. And, it's just been kicking me in the butt. Trey, he brings it out of me every time. So it's gonna be fun to keep training with Trey. I miss that guy.
Were you surprised by Shotty's reaction to your little prank call?
Nah, that's how he is. He calls me the other day and was like, man, what are you doing? He calls me randomly, gives me a shout. So, I kind of knew he would answer the phone.
That relationship with him, how does that help in this process right
Man, it helps greatly because at the end of the day, you're nothing without the supports of the people around you. So understanding he knows what situation I am, CD obviously going through it, Dak, just getting their words of advice, encouragement, they understanding what I'm going through. That means a lot to me. It gives you like hope, to just stay strong and understanding that, just keep putting the work in and, everything's going to work out for itself. So you need guys like that to be in your corner and support you through this process.
Mike, what things you're looking about your relationship with Shotty that you were comfortable enough to pull the prank?
Man, I would say Shotty kind of been since, he got hired, I've been very impressed with just how he's been building a relationship with me. And I would say it's different because, especially when you got an offensive coach, they don't tend to like want to reach out and, check in on the daily or the monthly to see how's your training going, asking where you going, calling you on your birthday. It's kind of more, exit meeting, intro meetings, what they expect out of you, how happy they're here for you. But I would just say he's been, like I said, just been constantly, since he's been hired, reaching out with me, building that relationship with me, going above and beyond, inviting my family places, showing up to, my events, things like that. So, I mean, honestly, kudos to him. That's something that, I don't think it's an easy do because you don't know how certain people would accept it. But I think he's accepted his role pretty well, and I think he has everyone excited around here.
You tempted to make a good night call like that to Jerry? Maybe that'll get the job done?
Truth be told, I might have called him.
Did he answer?
Nah, he didn't answer.
Micah, one of the things you're trying to lean into and show this year is your mentorship, leadership. Just what are you seeing from the younger guys like Marshawn Nealon, Donovan Ezraku, and just what are your general tips to those young guys coming up on you?
So, first foremost, one thing I told him off rip, when I got into the meeting, I said, man, this is an egoless room. I want everyone to win. Whether you'll be here in 4 years, whether I'll be here, I want all of us to succeed. That's the only way we'll win. We got to all want to see each other win. So if we got to sacrifice where we want to be sometimes and you catch someone else on the back end, that's just what they got to do. But there is no egos in this room. And I said, don't be afraid and don't take constructive criticism as a hate or heat towards you. Everyone gets it. I told them, welcome me. If I'm BSing, tell me to get the on. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to have that critiqueness into you to say, as a man, I got to take what I give, and I think I want that for the room. I think before you try to tell someone something is become an issue. Everyone, at the end of the day, everyone stinks. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hide it. We're all not perfect. So, that's kind of what I told them early on. I'll be excited to work with him a little bit more in camp. I told him specifically, I'm happy you like to play on the right side because I don't like to do it that much. So when you're out there, I know I don't got to argue with you about it. But I think those guys is going to be great additions. But the thing is, I notice with them, they just keep their head down and they just work. And I think that's a good sign early on, just working.
You're very close to Diggs. You're very close to Diggs.
Just dominant hand. Yeah, you want to play with dominant hand. If I'm on the left, I get to place a lot more with my right hand, whereas if I'm on the right, I play more to my left. But the footwork and everything's pretty much the same.
You're very close to Diggs. How difficult has this been for him to go through another rehab?
I think it's extremely difficult for Diggs. And, I almost, I actually had to fly out there to check on him because he was like, bro, you got to come visit me. I think he was getting a little lonely. But, I went out there to check on him, man, and, the things that I felt like he wasn't doing, I got on him, and the things that he was doing, I supported him. I think, that's one person. Even when we went to work out, I was like, oh, no, you owe me some more sets. Like, I want you to – it's your comeback play. I want you to be comeback player of the year, and I think – in his case, I don't think he reaches out to a lot of people. A lot of people don't understand him, and that's okay because I was like, yo, I understand you. I know where you at right now, and I'm here for you. I don't want nothing from you. Like, a lot of people might want something from you. I was like, I don't want anything from you. I'm here to strictly support you and be there for you throughout your time. And so, just throughout that process, man, just seeing where he's at and just seeing his mentor, I think, at the end, he kind of wrote me a message for my birthday. And he didn't tell me in person, but he wrote me how much he appreciated that I came out there and uplifted him, man. So, and he don't really show a lot of emotion. It's hard to get more than a couple words out of him. So just to get that message from him, it meant a lot for me just as a friend. So, I'm happy that he's in a bright spot. He's doing better. And I'm just hoping he has the year that he wants to. It's just now I'm telling him he got to kick it to overdrive now. I say no more excuses.
Why do you think he's misunderstood?
I just think everyone's misunderstood in their own right. I just think Diggs is a person that you kind of got to open up yourself to him before he opens up to you. And I think he's one of them people that he's so competitive in his own right because I challenge him every week. You know, I actually lose money sometimes with him, man. Like, I be telling him, like, man, this guy better not have 5 catches. Like, I need you to be on it. Like, I need you. And he practiced so much harder because of it. And then you go out to the game, and I just think he needs to be challenged. I think sometimes coaches get a little bit boring. We all know that. I think that sometimes people get boring, and I just think he's a guy that needs to be challenged. He needs to be pushed. And if you're not challenging or pushing him, he kind of mellows out, you know. So I just know what type of guy I got, so I push him, and he knows it's always coming from the right place with me. And even when we're in the locker room, he's like, Mike, come on, let's play ping pong. Come on, bro, like just play with me for just a little bit, like, or let's go play catch. Come to the side, play catch. Like, he's a person that just wants to be challenged. He wants to be active, and I don't think a lot of people willing to do that with him except for me. So. I think he matches me perfectly, so we're 7-11.
All right.